Stand by for a transmission from DX Central. This broadcast is not a test. To confirm reception, please tune your radio to any AM or FM frequency and report your observations during this transmission. Again, this is not a test. Stand by for a transmission from DX Central. This broadcast is not a test. To confirm reception, please tune your radio to any AM or FM frequency and report your observations during this transmission. Again, this is not a test.
DX Central Live is brought to you in part by...
Since 1933, the National Radio Club has been serving AMDXers while providing some of the most in-depth information in the hobby. From the annual NRC AM log, a must-have reference for domestic station information, to antenna design reference manuals, and of course, the DX News Member Bulletin, which is filled with station information updates, domestic and international loggings, and a whole lot more. Become a member today. For more information, log on to nationalradioclub.org. That's nationalradioclub.org. While the HF bands can be filled with entertaining and intriguing transmissions, how do you know when and where to look? Let Teague Publishing's Global Radio Guide lead the way. In addition to its exhaustive list of time and frequency for international broadcasters, radio hobby icon Gail Van Horn brings you equipment reviews, an SDR buyer's guide, feature articles, and more. Pick up your copy today. Visit teaguepublishing.com for more information. That's teaguepublishing.com. From the pages of its DX Monitor Member Bulletin, members of the International Radio Club of America share their domestic and international AMDX loggings. In its Mexican log, a wealth of information can be found of stations from south of the border. Technical guides, sunrise, sunset maps, and more make the IRCA a must-join for any AMDXer. For more information, log on to ircaonline.org. That's ircaonline.org.
Through crashes of static in quiet hours, we listen. In languages we can scarcely understand, and of places we have only visited in our dreams, we listen. Incessantly, we perfect our array of aerials, receivers, and resources. We refine our skills and our techniques so that we might listen. We are DX Central, and we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central.
Keep up with DX Central. Follow us on Twitter at DX Central.
The Gulf South
to your corner of the world.
This is DX Central Live.
Now here's your host, Lloyd Van Horn.
There we go. All right, it's DX Central Live from the North Shore Studios here in Mandeville, Louisiana, one last time for Season 3, my friends. It's a bittersweet evening. It's nice because this means I'm going to have some more time to do some other things for the channel and for DX Central. It's not so nice because I'm going to miss seeing you guys on Friday nights. But we're here, and we're ready for some live DX, hopefully tonight. A little more FM probably than AM. Most of the AM antennas are unplugged. As you can see, we've got some lightning about. So we're going to have to pay attention to that. But we have got a lot to get to tonight. So we'll probably be doing some FMDX this evening. We're going to focus a lot on FMDX because FMDX season is basically here. At any moment, it could pop. We've already seen some little spurts of sporadic E here and there on the East Coast and over in Europe. And so we're looking for that, see if that's going to start popping over here in the U.S. proper. We've had some Tropo on the Gulf Coast, on the East Coast, and a little bit inland in some spaces. So FMDX season is pretty much here. We got some meteor scatter probably because I think one of the meteor showers is peaking tonight. I'll get it out in a second. Peaking tonight. So probably some meteor scatter in there thrown in for good measure. So a lot of FMDX talk tonight. We'll do a little AM as well as we usually do, but we've got a lot of stuff to get to for some very important stuff. We've got our results from week 25 and week 26 of the medium wave frequency challenge. Both of those are going to be released tonight. We're going to play those highlight videos for you tonight. We've also got our highlight video for the season recap for all of season 2 of the medium wave frequency challenge. So you guys did an amazing job. I've got some numbers over here that I'm going to be sharing. I probably should hide that so you can't read over my notes before we do it official. So we're going to be doing some announcements a little bit later on and some really cool things that happened this season that I want to share with you guys. Of course, we want to make sure we talked about our our top dog of the season and some of our other category winners, things like that. So we got a lot to get to with that. We've got a major announcement coming up a little bit later on in the program that we're going to be talking about some stuff that's going to be happening this summer, around a certain theme. We'll see what that is. We'll take a look at it. And, of course, our usual assortment of shout-outs. Of course, this is going to be a little bit different tonight. Instead of shout-outs for, what we've done since last week, you can throw those in there, too. This is going to be shout-outs for what we've done all season, for what we've been doing basically since September 1st through now. Now, I want to take a second to say something. I've seen some people talk about social media. We are celebrating the end of our season of DX Central Live and the Medium Wave Frequency Challenges. I cut a line here in May to be able to go and say, from here forward, we're going to take a little bit of a break so that we have time to do some content for the channel, make preparations for the next season. So we're taking a break on DX Central Live. AMDX season doesn't stop because, we're taking a break here. This is not the end of AMDX. Don't put your antennas away just yet. Is it more difficult? I've said this before. Is it more difficult? Yeah, probably. But I mentioned in the chat earlier, I've logged my best DX catch ever on AM. 1476 Benin in the middle of July. The first time I ever heard South Dakota from North Carolina was in the middle of July. The first time I ever heard Alberta from North Carolina was summertime. I've heard some of the best DX of my entire life during June, July, August, those 3 months in the middle of the summer. So just throw that out there. We're going to all be doing a lot of FMDX, obviously, but in between those openings, maybe a chance for us to do some AMDX and hear some stuff we don't normally get to hear. So we'll talk about that as well. All right. Mike says he's down there, Mexico. Mike is in Mexico today and saying Cinco de Mayo, the Mexican holiday that Mexicans do not celebrate. So yeah, right. This is not really a holiday for Mexico, right? It's a American holiday where it's an excuse to drink and eat tacos. Like you need an excuse to do either of those things in America. We like to do both of those pretty regularly anyway. So, but we'll be taking a look at, like I said, those shout outs here in a bit. We're taking a look at those results videos and everything else. So make sure you guys stick around. We have a jam-packed show tonight. We do have top of the hour coming up here in a moment. It's going to be a little bit different than usual because we will be looking at some FMDX to seeing what's there. Now, I'm looking at my waterfall right now. There's not a lot of anything in there. There's a lot of blue on my waterfall. Blue means no signal or weak signal, in this case on my waterfall. So probably not a lot in there for us just now, but I can go over some stuff as we kind of walk through this top of the hour here on the FM side and show you guys some of the things that I used to kind of set up my FM reception rig. I am working on getting my RDS auto logger for rabbit ears up and running. I was going down one path. I'm gonna back up on that and try a different path for a different way of doing it. And talking with Les Rayburn and some other folks about rabbit ears, I think I'm going to have to try something a little bit different than what I'd planned on. Not my ideal. What I wanted to do was throw this up here, my Elad FDMS3, which can see the entire FM band at once and say, hey, I can see the entire FM band. Show me all the decodes, right? That's what I want to do, is be able to say, here's all the decodes being received at once, the entire FM band. Doesn't work like that for rabbit ears and auto loggers. So we're going to go a different route. That way I can still use my Elad for DX, since it's going to be on the 9-element Yagi. And I'll have my RSP DX probably on my 4-element Yagi, so I have a couple of different options there. And then my AirSpy HF Plus Discovery with my new centerfire dipole. That's going to be probably what we're going to run for the auto logger. So, all right. Let's see. That's my shout out. That's season 2 stuff. Yeah, all right. So we are ready. Let's go ahead and we're going to do a little early so we can talk about some stuff here. Let's go ahead and do top of the hour alert. All right. So you see here on screen, this is SDR Console. Some of you may be familiar, some of you may not. SDR Console is a fantastic SDR program. It is, it's there for a plethora, there's your word, plethora of SDRs. You can use Perseus with it. You can use RSP, like the SDR Play suite of SDRs, AirSpy. You can do my Elads plugged in here. You can do a lot. The RTL SDR dongles, if you're going to be going that route. You can do a lot of different SDRs. And the thing that I like about it, it's really awesome for like recording and then going back and reviewing the recording. It's probably, other than Jaguar for Perseus, it is the best SDR program that I have found for IQ recording review, to be able to kind of navigate through that. And what did he say? Back. Okay, yeah, it was a WILW or whatever, right? So you could do that much easier, I feel like, in console than you can anywhere else for most of that stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look now. Let's go ahead and select my radio, Elad FDMS3. We're going to start it up. Rick, it's Baton Rouge. 101.5 in Baton Rouge. Let's right now we're sitting on 93.3. Not a great frequency for me to sit on, considering it is super loud, local, and very top 40 music, and that's going to get me in some copyright problems probably. So let's look at 94.5 open frequency. Let's just see if there's anything there. Let me turn that down a little bit. So I've got my beam pointed about southish. Let's go a little bit more. Let's point a little bit more west here and see if we can pull in some stuff from that general direction. This is pointing towards now Lafayette, where I have KSMB here on 94.5. Usually. Yep, there's the 101.5 WYNK in Baton Rouge. That's the one that you were talking about there, Rick. So you'll see a couple things here. We're going to talk through it here for this top of the hour alert. Let me see if I just don't want to be playing the music here. In SDR Console, some things that you can do that are helpful for FMDX. Number one, you have this FM spectrum slice right here that basically looks at that signal that's being received from the FM station, and it tells you kind of where everything is. So like you've got the mono portion of the signal down here at the bottom. You've got the pilot signal right here. You've got your stereo spread in this bit of the spectrum. Right here is where RDS lives, around 57 kilohertz up from that fundamental frequency. So you can use this to kind of see if I'm even getting any RDS on the signal that I'm receiving. I remember during an eSkip opening up in Canada, seeing that flare up on a station right before the RDS decode came through. Here we go.
That route is number one for New Country 1015 WYNK. Cole Swindell, she had me at Heads, Carolina. I'm Austin James, and we're proudly welcoming Randall King to the Texas Club next Friday and Dominic Michael Saturday night. Next Saturday night, that is. Win your tickets to the show at WYNK.com/contest. You're Scotty McCreery, and it matters to her on Wing.
All right, so you've got a couple other things here that I want to make sure that you can kind of see. Let me mute that again. You've got your RDS decode down here, which I can turn on or off if you're interested. I obviously recommend you keep it on. But if you need to turn it off for whatever reason, you can do that. You can come over here and say, don't display it. Super easy. Or you can also go over here to the View tab, and your RDS button's right there. So you can toggle it on or off that way. You'll also notice I have this window right here. This is called RDS Spy, and I've got a video up on our YouTube channel where I talk about how to basically take the MPX output from console or SDR Sharp or any of those SDR programs you may be using. And you use virtual audio cables to feed the audio that's coming through from the signal to both your SDR so you can listen to it and DX that way, and it also throws it into this program here, SDR Spy, so you can see the decodes. Why would I want to do that? Why would I want to have an RDS decode program here when I've already got an RDS decode over here? A couple of reasons. Number one, I have received decodes in RDS Spy that I've not gotten in console or Sharp or any of the other programs that you're using. I have seen where this gets there quicker in RDS Spy. I have seen times where I'll have a decode over here in RDS Console, but not in RDS Spy. And the decode that's over here in console turns out to be erroneous, a false decode. If you see it in both, that's a little more legitimate, right? Now, if you're seeing that same decode in two different programs, you know that's probably a pretty good chance that's a legitimate decode coming through. And you've also got more information here. Let me show you. I'm going to go up here to the View Basic RDS Services. Look at all that information that you can see there. Look at all that. That's a lot of detail that you can't see. Again, I'm just going to take this away. So basically you get this, you get the code, and you get a little bit of kind of rotating data like you normally do on like a radio. And I've got the code here and like the rotating stuff here. But if I want to see all that, what it's receiving, there it is. So that's something that's also very cool for RDS Spy, and another reason why I use it in conjunction with whatever SDR program I happen to be using. So something to keep in mind, if that is interesting to you, if you want to take a look at RDS Spy and add it to your arsenal, you can definitely do so. It's a free program to download. You have to have a sound card that is capable of 192 1000 hertz sample rate, I think is what it was. And you have to have the virtual audio cables. All the details. I did it for SDR Sharp on the video, but it's same principles apply here to SDR Console. The only thing you have to know is how to turn on the MPX output, which is right here.
under the Broadcast FM on your Receive tab. There's a little Broadcast FM button right here that has a lot of different options for different things, but you can also go over here to Options, and there's your MPX forward right there. By the way, we talk about RDS logger. Go to RDS log if you're in console and you clicked on that options on the pull down menu from the Broadcast FM. Go to RDS log file. I think it's that one, isn't it? No, wait a minute. It's not there. It is here. So when you do the pull down menu, you go to Show Database. It'll actually show you all your decodes that you've gotten. Now this Superior Wisconsin right here, that's not real, by the way. I mean, it is real. It's a real decode. That decode, I18F4 that was decoded, that's a real decode. But the Superior Wisconsin, that's not obviously from who that is. It's the station here in New Orleans. Same thing with the Prestonburg, Kentucky. Sometimes, for whatever reason, RDS Console will grab those codes and it doesn't line up completely with the actual station you're decoding. So the code itself over here is the key. That's what you're going to look for first. And then the other information is kind of secondary. Like you saw a few moments ago, the call sign for WYNK is showing up as KCBC. If you look at it right here, see KCBC right there? That's not who that is. It's WYNK. And there's various reasons for that. Sometimes it can be something like an NPR station or other kind of network that's feeding down the line. And so you're getting the decode of the main kind of pilot station, and then all the other ones kind of carry that back through. It could be something like that. It could be a bunch of different reasons. But that's why, again, I use both of these to kind of work in tandem with each other. So we did hear the ID there from WYNK, and let me back up the old zoom here a bit. I'm down to the 10 megahertz spread here. We're going to go down to 93.1. Here's how I do this in console. So I have a 10 megahertz spread that I can do with my Elad FDMS3, or I can do the entire band. I'm not going to do the entire band right now because it really slows down when I'm running my streaming software here. But I'm going to use the 10 as a 10 megahertz bandwidth as an option here for you. So I go to, like, say 93.1. That way 5 megahertz down from that is 88.1. 5 megahertz up from that is 98.1. Now I'm going to hit this little center button right here. And what you're looking at here is the entire bottom half of the band. I'm going from 88.1 right here up to actually a little bit even higher, 98.5. So it's got a little extra thrown in there for good measure. So I can see the entire bottom half of the FM band at once right now. The same kind of thing will happen if you're using console with like an RSP DX, RSP Duo, RSP 1A, those different SDR play ones that have that 10 megahertz of bandwidth. You can do the same thing. Center it at 93.1. You've got the entire bottom half of the band. And use that same logic to do the upper half of the band. So you would come down 5 megahertz from the top half, which is 102.9. That would get you down to, 97.9. So in a sense, 102.9, 93.1. If you have 10 megahertz of bandwidth, those are the two frequencies you want to use as your center. Okay. To be able to look at the entire thing. So you can see here I've got a whole lot of blue, which tells me this is dead band right now. I don't have any tropo, no enhancement coming in, no E-skip, no none of that. This is all just low signals. Let me show you what it looks like when we've got a lot, though. Okay, so keep this in mind. We're going to keep this up on screen here until we get this file loaded up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play. This is a tropo opening that we had on May 1st. Right? You'll be able to see the difference here. Look at that. That's the entire band, by the way. That's that full band spread right here. Look at how little blue there is in there. See all that green and orange and everything and yellow in there? That's a band full of signals right there. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Let me go to 93.1 and just do a comparison. See how there's something on every single frequency? You can basically tell every single frequency has something. That's a tropo opening. E-skip openings can look very, very similar. A lot of times they'll have kind of swirling patterns on the waterfall in here. So it'll look like the signal is actually kind of like swirling a little bit, or kind of a helter-skelter slide kind of look to the signal. So yeah, that's how a full band looks on the waterfall. And so if you are sitting at your house and you want to know if the band is open and you look up and you see this, stop what you're doing, turn your attention to your SDR program, because you've got an opening going on of some sort, Tropo or E-skip. I was just talking earlier in our FMDX Slack channel. There's a bunch of different ways that you can spot openings during the summertime. One of the ones that I'm looking forward to this year is using my tablet, my iPad that I have, using Google Remote Desktop to remote into my software here. I'm just going to leave this running, right? So it's always there, always running. And then I'll just look over and check in and see if there's anything opening up. I also have email alerts and things like that coming in, but I can also just remote into my computer, look and see if I see something that looks like this, right? And if I do, then I'm like, whoa, run and go do some looking. And I can also listen in, right? I can check a couple of open frequencies if I want to check those to see if there's something open. I can easily do that. But this is a very nice way to look and see if the FM opening is occurring, is by kind of pulling back, looking at as wide a bandwidth as you possibly can on your SDR if you're using one, and going from there. Obviously, if you're using a portable or other radio, you can have to go one frequency at a time. Look for open frequencies. That's how one way you can spot an opening. Areas in your local area that don't have anything on that frequency. Be cautious if you have a frequency that's open because of an HD signal. What I mean by that, for those of you who are newer to FMDX, because we got some folks who are trying it out for the first time this year. So you see here is 93.3, right? You have this nice big signal right here on 93.3. Then you have this kind of squared looking signal over here to the bottom of it on 93.1. Another squared looking signal to the upper half on 93.5. That's the HD signal, right? But you'll also notice on 93.1, we've got some not squarish looking stuff coming off the side of it. Like if I go back to my live right now, all you're going to see is just a squared signal coming on both sides of it. You're not going to see any of this off the side. This off the side stuff is another signal coming in on that frequency that I can try to receive. And then basically that signal needs to be louder than the HD. It needs to be able to overtake your local HD signal for you to be able to hear it. So I can go over here and I can say there was a 93.1 signal. So I was receiving something there. It was able to overtake that HD signal and be able to actually hear something there. I have seen it, though, where times where during a weaker Tropo or weaker E-skip opening, that HD signal cannot be overtaken, and all you have is the HD signal, even if something's coming through. So what you're looking for are really, truly, fully open frequencies where there's nothing. No HD signal, no local stations, not even any fringe stuff. You're looking for as open as possible, and that's why right now is the time to complete your dead band scan. Every single frequency on FM in your location, you want to know who's there, what's their RDSD code, what's their slogan, what's their format, and what's your typical signal strength that you can hear of them. If you know those 5 pieces of information on every single frequency, I made a spreadsheet. I'll show it to you guys here in a bit if you didn't catch it last week. I made a spreadsheet that I'm using to track all this. And so if I'm looking and I'm trying to identify where am I going to go look to see if an opening is, I've highlighted the frequencies that I can start with. And the ones that I start with are the fully open. Then I look at the ones that are open but have an HD signal on it. And then I'm also looking at those where I have a station there, but it's fringe. It's weaker. Like instead of negative 66 dB, or like in this case, let me show you the local, negative 76 dB, as you see right in here, right? Maybe I have one that's like negative 95, negative 100, negative 101. That signal strength is going to be more easily overtaken by an inbound DX signal that's coming in from an opening like a Tropo or E-skip opening. So those, even though I normally have something that's there, it's weak enough that it's not going to be impeding my ability to probably get a signal if it's a stronger opening. So fully open first, HD signal opens, and then your fringe stations. Those are the kind of the way that I usually look for openings on my band. And I might even, depending on what I see with those fully opens, I might go right to the fringe and then come back to the HD if I have really particularly strong HD signals in my area, which I do here in New Orleans. So we're going to talk more about FMDX here in a bit, but I just wanted to kind of give us a nice little starting point as a starting point of discussion. Let you guys kind of have at it in the chat here, as I know you guys like to do, to talk about what we're seeing on FMDX typically, And those of you who are a little more seasoned FMDXers can also offer your suggestions, as I know you guys already are, and your advice for our newer folks. All right. So we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we are going to do some fun stuff. We're going to play our results video from week 25 of the Medium Wave Frequency Challenge, our results video from week 26 of the Medium Wave Frequency Challenge, and then we're going to do the Season 2 recap, all of Season 2 of the Medium Wave Frequency Challenge. After that, we've got a big announcement coming. We got shout-outs, more DX, more FMDX stuff, so don't go anywhere. More DX Central Live is coming up right after this.
DX Central, because we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central. DX Central Live is brought to you. DX Central Live is brought to you in part by...
Since 1933, the National Radio Club has been serving AMDXers while providing some of the most in-depth information in the hobby. From the annual NRC AM log, a must-have reference for domestic station information, to antenna design reference manuals, and of course, the DX News Member Bulletin, which is filled with station information updates, domestic and international loggings, and a whole lot more. Become a member today. For more information, log on to nationalradioclub.org. That's nationalradioclub.org. While the HF bands can be filled with entertaining and intriguing transmissions, how do you know when and where to look? Let Teague Publishing's Global Radio Guide lead the way. In addition to its exhaustive list of time and frequency for international broadcasters, radio hobby icon Gail Van Horn brings you equipment reviews, an SDR buyer's guide, feature articles, and more. Pick up your copy today. Visit teaguepublishing.com for more information. That's teaguepublishing.com. From the pages of its DX Monitor Member Bulletin, members of the International Radio Club of America share their domestic and international AMDX loggings. In its Mexican log, a wealth of information can be found of stations from south of the border. Technical guides, sunrise, sunset maps, and more make the IRCA a must-join for any AMDXer. For more information, log on to ircaonline.org. That's ircaonline.org.
Through crashes of static in quiet hours, we listen. In languages we can scarcely understand, and of places we have only visited in our dreams, we listen. Incessantly, we perfect our array of aerials, receivers, and resources. We refine our skills and our techniques so that we might listen. We are DX Central, and we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central.
Keep up with DX Central. Follow us on Twitter at DX Central.
From the DX Central North Shore Studios, this is DXC Live. Now here's your host, Lloyd Van Horn.
From the North Shore Studios in Mandeville, Louisiana, my friends, it's DX Central Live, and we are here for the final time this season, for the final Friday night of the season, with live DX and DX discussions around AM and FM DX is what we do here at DX Central Live. And I know we got, apparently we got quite a few folks watching tonight, so we welcome you. Appreciate you being here. Be sure to keep an eye out. I'll be putting out announcements as we get closer because we'll be back in September for Season 4. I haven't landed on the date just yet. I know what I'm thinking for the first date of the season next year, or next season, Season 4. But we'll be announcing that as we get a little bit closer. But definitely bookmark us at dxcentrallive.com. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you'll be notified when we do go live. And also when we post videos, because part of the deal here is that with all the live stream stuff, I haven't really had a whole lot of time to do content for the YouTube channel like we usually do, like your DX 101 videos and things like that. So this summer I'm planning on doing a whole bunch of video work, so we'll have a whole bunch of stuff in the hopper and being able to be released on the channel. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And you can also check our website out, by the way, dxcentralonline.com. That's our main website that we have for all of our DX 101 stuff, where we talk about propagation and gear and both AM and FM DX. We have our blog there. We have all kinds of stuff that I want, merchandise. If you're wanting some DXC swag, you want to get that coffee mug or a nice t-shirt or a hoodie, something like that, we got you covered. dxcentralonline.com. And also don't forget to follow us on Twitter as well. We're pretty active over there, twitter.com/dxcentral. I'm usually up there posting what I'm hearing, if I'm doing some DX, if there's an opening, especially now with the FM season upon us, skip Tropo openings, I like to talk about it there. All kinds of stuff. So make sure you're following us on Twitter as well if you are over there on the Bird app. All right, so let's get to business here. Get down to business. We got a couple things to get to put the final coat of clear coat here and the final polish on Season 2 of the Medium Wave Frequency Challenge. For those of you who are newer to the live stream or newer to the channel, during the main crux of the AMDX season, we do weekly challenges where we basically challenge DXers to say, okay, this week we're DXing on this frequency or these range of frequencies, and DXers are able to then submit their loggings of what they heard, whether it was new to them or not, whether it's a local or DX or whatever they hear on those frequencies during that course of that week. They submit them, and then we pat each other on the back. We talk about how great of a job we did and things like that. So it's a lot of fun. It challenges us sometimes to do things that are out of our comfort zone or things that we don't normally do to get new ones. And I know a lot of you who have been doing this with us this year grabbed a lot of new stuff by DXing with the frequency challenge stuff. So we're going to be doing a whole season recap here in a bit. But first, before we do that, let's look back to week 25, which was really last week, when we were doing 1410 to 1440. Here we go. All right, so there you go. That's week 25 wrapped up. Again, that was 1410 to 1440. And you guys know as we kind of approach the end of the season there, what we were trying to do was get to any frequencies that we had not covered in either season 1 or season 2. And it turns out, in looking at it, we actually covered a lot more frequencies in season 2 than we did season 1. So, which we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But first, before we get to the season 2 recap, we also have week 26 to get to. Remember that little short week that we had? Well, it felt like a short week, but actually wasn't. It was a Wednesday to Wednesday instead of a Friday to Friday. 1460 to 1480. Yeah, we did that one too. So here are our results from week 26, our final week of season 2 of the Medium Wave Frequency Challenge. Can you tell that we weren't really able to do a lot of DX that week? One station, KKOI in Kansas. That was all we got that week. Yeah, Jeff. I don't know, Tennessee or Indiana, wherever you live. Bolivia? Come on, man. That's the top of my list. That is the #1 most wanted country that I have on my list. And you snuck that in there right there at the end. Good job, man. Fantastic. Bravo on that. That's huge. So there you go. That's the wrap for the last week of the season 2 of the Medium Wave Frequency Challenge. Yeah, I know, Jeff, you're Indiana, but all you guys are either Indiana or Illinois or Tennessee, and the letters look similar at 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm making these videos sometimes. So my bad on that one. But I got you back in Indiana for the last week there. All right, so there you go. That's the wrap on week 26, and what a great season this was. I've got the numbers sitting here. I'm going to look over some of the nuggets that I pulled out from what you're about to watch on the release of the recap video, rather. Just some really awesome stuff happened this last season in the Medium Wave Frequency Challenge. You guys took what we did last year and was that was nothing. We're gonna up the ante this year, and boy did you. I challenged us this season to do a couple things that we didn't do last year. I challenged us to hear all 50 states in the United States, which you guys already know we did. And I also challenged you guys to have all 6 continents where there's an AM station. All 6 continents in the log. Did we do it? Did we pull it off this year? If we didn't, I'll be mad. So I present to you, my friends, sit back, grab yourself a drink, a popcorn or your favorite beverage, maybe a victory cigar. Here's our Season 2 recap from the Medium Wave Frequency Challenge. Enjoy. I may or may not have been headbanging right there. I don't know, maybe. Oh man, what a fun season. You guys made it just absolutely unbelievable. I had a couple of call outs that I wanted to make sure that you guys know. Obviously, first off, Barry, dude, 843 stations. The next closest was Jeff, almost, just under 500, one away from 500. Did you guys like the nicknames? I was trying to think of like clever ones. Some of them were more clever than others at the very late hour that was happening, but like the Lock, Jeff, I thought I called you the Lock because I knew every single week you were going to be winning at least one category, and you were either going to be in second or third place, sometimes winning, but at least you're going to be in the top three. Barry was going to be in the top three, and there would be one other person kind of rotating in or out. I could just lock it in. It's going to happen. Bill, the Hammer, because over here just like owning the chat and making sure everything runs, and just Jim Renfrew passed me the beverage because his 15 countries using beverage antennas up there. So that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun putting that together. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Some call outs though I wanted to make sure that I kind of mentioned here. Nearly 6,000 logs between our DXers this year in the medium wave frequency challenge. Nearly 6,000 logs. 101 frequencies activated. There's only 116 licensed US frequencies, right? We activated 101. 51% of all US stations that we could have logged. So when we take those frequencies, those 101 frequencies that we activated, what was the total population of stations that were there available for us to log, and then how many did we actually log? It was 51%. We heard almost half of what we could have heard. 7 frequencies, we had 100%. Every single station that was there, every single station that could have been logged was logged on 7 different frequencies. They were all in the expanded band. 1620, 1630, 1640, 1660, 1670, 1680, and 1700. 100% of everything that could have been heard on that frequency in the U.S. was heard. We had 34 states reporting, 3 Canadian provinces reporting. So you guys, it was a nice spread out, nice dispersed group. It wasn't all clustered in together in one area, although there is, quite a bit on the East Coast, Midwest, things like that. 7 different countries reporting, including Australia and Tunisia and the Netherlands and the UK. Hey, Ray. We really appreciate all of you guys being here because you helped make this next thing happen. We got all 6 continents. Where is it? Where's the Horn of Victory for that one? We did it! 6 continents we logged this year. Let me give you some examples. Obviously, North America is easy. U.S., Canada, Mexico, Caribbean, Central America, those are easy. South America, pretty easy. Colombia, Venezuela, Bolivia, Ecuador. We got those, no problem. Here's where it gets interesting. Asia, Japan, Iran, Africa, Algeria, Sao Tome, Europe, UK, Spain, Romania, and then Australia. So all 6 continents that have AM station. I know there's a 7th continent in Antarctica, I know. But until we can get an AM station down there, we're going to have to settle for 6. So 6 continents, we logged them all. So that deserves another one. So I mentioned that 51% of all the stations we could have logged based on the frequencies that we activated this year. If you pull that back and just say, okay, of all the U.S. stations that could have been logged, regardless of frequency, 42% of everything that could have been logged in the U.S., you guys did it. And remember, that's including, we did every single one of the graveyarders this year. That's a ton of stations in there. And we still got 42%. I'd be interested to see if we took the graveyarders out, what our totals would look like. But almost 2,200 stations total logged. 2,200 stations. 6,000 logs representing 2,200, almost 2,200 stations. 51% of the logs that were done this year were during sunset, sunrise, gray line period. Last year, overnight was the top dog. This year it was gray line, sunset, sunrise. 51% of everything you guys did. That's important because those are the ones that keep changing, right? Every week almost, sometimes the year, every month. That's going to look different than it did the month before. So you guys are taking advantage of that, and that reflects in the totals. We showed the one for the Perseus having the top spot for SDRs. For all radios, 5,000 logs were out of the 5,573 total logs is what it was. 5,000 of those were using SDRs. 5,000 logs came from SDR use. You think that might be a contributing factor, right? This SDR technology, has that made a difference in our hobby? I'd say so. And we did say that the terminated delta loop was the top antenna, but if we pull that back and we don't break out the magnetic loop by Wellbrook, W6LVP, U-loop, and so forth, 53% of everything that was logged was done with the magnetic loop. There's 2,970 logs with a mag loop. That's 53% of what was logged was done with a magnetic loop. So, bravo, guys. What a season. What a freaking season. Congratulations, Barry, our overall winner, our Season 2 champion. Barry's got himself some DX Central swag on the way to celebrate his victory. I'll be getting that your way here soon. Look for an email from me, all the details on that. So, yeah, that's where we are at the end of Season 2 of the Medium Wave Frequency Challenge. So we're over, right? That's it. No more frequency challenges. Nothing else left to do, right? Wrong. I didn't want to leave you guys empty-handed. I didn't want to leave the season and not have something here for you. So, it's with that in mind that we make this announcement.
I'm Larry Morrow. When it comes to getting you ready for the day ahead, we cover all the bases. Music, news, traffic, sports. Weekday mornings on 3WE. WWWE, Cleveland.
Now we'll take a look at the starting lineup for the Indians.
And so there you go, my friends. We have a new challenge for the summer for AM and FM DXers. It's not just an AM thing, my friends. We're not just doing the weekly challenges like we have been on the AM side. Our FM friends can come and have some fun too, or those of us who do both, we have a chance to do a little bit of both as well. So I actually am now joined by one of the brainchilds of this whole operation here, Sean Kuzco. A lot of you may know him from his days with the ARRL, and he's a very prominent ham radio operator in the community, and he's been an amazing friend of the channel here for DX Central and all of our weekly challenges and our live streams every week. So Sean, welcome to DX Central Live, my friend.
Lloyd, my friend, thank you for having me. This is a true honor. I have come full circle, started with AM DXing, went gonzo with ham radio, and now I am back to AM and FM DXing.
It always brings us back, right? I did the same thing. It always brings us back. I don't know what it is about AM and FM and DXing, but it brings us back to the fold every time. So, so this is actually an idea. So I'd been kind of toying with something that I wanted to do challenge-wise for the summer for a while. I didn't know exactly what it would be, and then Sean, I think it was like December, January, said, "Hey, we should do something for baseball." And I was like, that's a brilliant idea. So we started kind of thinking about it a little bit, and both of us realized we were way out of our element when it came to the actual technical side. And we brought a good friend, Mike Leary, who actually is a family friend, I found out through this process. Mike Leary, and he helped us with the technical side and the website and the database and all that structure. And so now we're going to present this Grand Slam DX Challenge. So Sean, tell us a bit about, in your own words, kind of what you envision here, what this challenge is going to be for DXers.
Well, so some of you may remember from my time at the league, I came up with this idea for National Parks on the Air, which was to help the National Park Service celebrate their centennial in 2016. And I've been looking for something to do ever since we did that. And my love for baseball goes back even probably on par with the same time that I got interested in AM DXing as a really, really small kid. I don't remember the details, but it wouldn't surprise me if I got hooked on both at the same time. You know, it's a year-long event or a multi-month event focused around the two greatest things that I spend my time with, which is radio and baseball. So it seemed natural to come up with a way to combine those two things for an AM and an FM DXing event. And I think that with a lot of hard work with Lloyd's input and definitely with Mike's input, because neither one of us know how to do all the web stuff. So with the three of us, we got together and we hammered all this stuff out, and I think we got a winning combo here. So let's let's give it a spin and see what happens.
Absolutely. So this is going to be a challenge that starts basically now. Mm-hmm. So the announcement is out. So you can go now and go to grandslamdxchallenge.com. Go ahead and register. And you'll be able to register to be part of this challenge, and you'll pick which categories you're going to enter, with what radio you're going to kind of radio you're going to use, and what category you're going to enter, either AM only, FM only, or both. Mm-hmm. And then you can start logging right away. We've got the affiliate list for all Major League Baseball teams on the site, so you can use that to help cross-reference what you're hearing, right? Mm-hmm. And then from there, you can log what you're hearing, and there's a whole point structure. Now, the thing about this that I know Sean and I and Mike, we all want to kind of stress is this is a work in progress, right?
Yeah, so we're kind of, we bit off a little bit more than we could chew, trying to get all this stuff set up in time. We were hoping to do this in time for actual opening day. That didn't happen. We ran into some other issues trying to put all this stuff together. So essentially what we're doing is we're releasing this to the public in beta mode. It might even be alpha mode, depending on how you want to look at it. But we've got a lot of moving parts that we're still trying to figure out in terms of the scoring rubric that we've designed, how to track your score relative to other scores, very similar to a leaderboard that you might have seen with ARRL events or like Parks on the Air or other events like that if you're an amateur radio operator. But basically, we're going to kind of be flying the plane as we build it, building the plane as we fly it. One of those things, one of those.
Yeah, all right.
So we're definitely interested in having you participate in this, enjoy logging stations, and kind of bear with us while we continue to get the scoring mechanism down and some of the other metrics that we want to track while we're doing this program. So you might see some moving parts. Pay no attention to the noise that you hear while you're logging all of this stuff. There's going to be some construction going on, but Lloyd and I, and definitely with Mike's help, we're working on building up a whole bunch of interesting ways that you can track how you're doing relative to other people. We've got 9 different entry categories that you can participate in. You're only going to be competing with other people in your own entry category. Hopefully later on we'll be able to track how you are doing with other people in your same state. We're dividing the continental United States up into 11 different divisions so that people who are in the same geographic area who might experience very similar propagation can compete with each other. So somebody in Washington is not necessarily competing against somebody in Florida because the openings are going to be completely different. But we've got a lot of moving parts that we're going to be settling as the months go by, and we are definitely interested in your input as to how this is going, ideas you may have to make this better. If you notice a bug on the website that we need to fix, all of that stuff, we definitely want to hear from you.
Absolutely. And there will be a link on the website that says contact us with an email link, so you can email us through there. It's just grandslamdxchallenge@gmail.com if you want to bookmark that or put that into your address book for your email, and send us any feedback. Let us know your experience, and if you're like Sean said, if you have any bugs or any defects or anything that we need to kind of tweak. The affiliate list that we put together was based off of the affiliate lists that were on each of the actual baseball teams' websites when we put this together about a month or so ago. So some of those may change over time. So if you notice something a little bit different as those affiliate lists change, let us know. That does also bring up a very good point. So this is not for baseball games where you have like ESPN or some kind of national broadcast, right? We're talking about the actual network broadcast, pregame, game, and postgame of these each individual baseball team. So you're talking about the flagship, you're talking about the affiliates. This isn't hearing KMOX at some point in the night. This is hearing that station affiliate when they're broadcasting the network broadcast of that game, right?
Absolutely correct. So in order for you to log a station to get credit for this particular event, it has to be during the game time. And as Lloyd already pointed out, it only can come from a team affiliate station. So Fox Sports broadcasts don't count, ESPN games don't count, any national level broadcast does not apply for this particular challenge. It has to be a station that is part of the official team's affiliate list.
That's right. And we'll be running this through the end of the regular season. So during the postseason time frame, the team list kind of gets cut down, right? So we're going to probably end it about that time at the end of the regular season and then start kind of tabulating all the results.
Right. The plan is right now for this event to end on the last day of the regular season. And then we can start tabulating results and everybody can enjoy the postseason, and we'll start crunching some numbers and see how we do.
And you never know. DX Central, we've been known to throw a little bit of swag towards some folks. So nothing official. This is still such a nice little beta, but maybe some winners might get some DX Central stuff. Who knows? We'll see. Might happen. So again, GrandSlamDXChallenge.com. That's where you want to go if you want to go ahead and register now and start entering your logs in. If you have SDR recordings from tonight, you can start using those from tonight. We're going to say it from basically from the time that our announcement went out tonight, moving forward, that's when those logs can be counted for this challenge. So make sure that you keep that in mind. Go ahead and register, get your logs in, start putting those in, and have fun with it. Try to hear as many teams as you can, as many flagships, as many stations as you can. It's all about just getting as much in your logbook as you can and having some fun while you're doing it.
That's right. I've actually been poking around doing some testing for the last month or so just to see what all is available. And from here in Illinois, I've already picked up 13 different team affiliate stations throughout the United States. And you might be surprised what you can hear. I was looking at the affiliate list, and for example, the New York Yankees are covered pretty much coast to coast. They actually have an affiliate station in Honolulu. So, I'm not expecting anybody to hear Honolulu, but it's interesting to see how diverse and spread out some of these affiliate stations lists are. You might be surprised what you hear.
Absolutely. So it's going to be interesting to see what folks can, what they can hear. And who knows? I mean, we had Hawaii this year in our weekly challenges, so maybe it's going to be there. I think there's even some affiliates up in Alaska for like the Mariners and things like that. So should be interesting to see what everyone is able to hear, and I'll be looking forward to seeing the results as we go through the course of the summer. And then obviously when we reconvene in the fall for season 4 of DX Central Live, this will be a big topic of discussion. But we didn't want to leave you guys over the summer with nothing to do and kind of lost in the woods of what do I do DX. This is going to be a nice challenge for you to be able to pick up on and have some fun with. So any last thoughts, Sean?
Make sure you go to the website and you read the rules for the event.
Yes.
Make sure that you double check that and understand all of the entry categories. We are asking you to pick a single entry category that you stick with throughout the entire event. That way the competition aspect of this remains stable throughout the entire baseball season. So that's very important. Make sure you read the rules and understand them. If there's something you don't understand, by all means reach out to us via the email address. We'll answer the questions as best as we possibly can. And again, remember, we are in a beta phase here. Hopefully we can get all of this stuff squared away soon, work out any bugs during this season, and if everything goes well, we'll have something rocking and rolling for 2024. So
that's right, for years to come.
And make sure that you send us ideas and suggestions and bug reports and all of that kind of stuff. This is very much a team effort for all of us.
That's right. And Sean's got his Cubs jersey. I'm making a political statement with my Oakland jersey here. Got to keep him in Oakland. Forget that Vegas stuff.
I don't think that's going to happen, man. I think Vegas.
Yeah, I think it's a done deal. But we're keeping with the theme tonight with a little baseball theme. So thank you, Sean. Appreciate you stopping by, and thank you for all your work that you've done to help us get this together. And I know I think folks are really going to enjoy this. So appreciate your help.
Glad to do it. Hope everybody has fun. Again, if you got any questions, just reach out to Lloyd or I. We're happy to help.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean. Take care. All right. So there we go. Major League Baseball regular season. We've got a challenge for you. The Grand Slam DX Challenge. So I know we're coming up on top of the hour. Let's take a few moments here really quick to check out the website and show you guys some of the stuff that goes with it here. So you got GrandSlamDXChallenge.com. If you go, it'll change to .net. We had to do a forward thing, but there you go, GrandSlamDXChallenge.com. You'll want to register. I think someone mentioned that the username can be kind of tricky to use. Yeah, I think what's usually easiest is to do like a username all lowercase with some numbers. That usually works the best, I think. And then once you're in, you'll be able to go in here. I'll show you really quick. We're going to make a video for this as well to put up eventually here, but you'll be able to see the full affiliate list, which is searchable, both AM and FM. So let's say you're sitting on 1400 and you hear an Atlanta Braves game. You just type in Atlanta, or in this case, AT. I'll type in Atlanta. So there we go. And so there are 3 different stations on 1400 carrying the Braves, as an example here. So that's what you can use to kind of look at the affiliate list and kind of know which ones you're working with. And then when it's time to log, you just go to My Logs, and you'll put in a new entry. The time format here, you will have to use the semicolon in the middle. We couldn't get around that because I know usually when we're typing in UTC, we're just like 2004 or whatever, right? But you do need to type in like 2004, right, with the colon in there, otherwise it won't take the log. So make sure you do that. Date is UTC date, so like right now it's after midnight UTC, so you would come over here and do like tomorrow's date. The station, once you've found that over in the affiliate list, you can easily search for it. So you can go over here and say, okay, WPHM, that's who I heard, and it pulls it up for you. You just click on it. Your time of day, and any notes you want to put in, what receiver and antenna you used, and that's really about it. If you want to put any additional notes in there, you can, and that's really it. And then it'll tabulate everything up for us. We're going to be tweaking the leaderboard as we go along to add more statistics, but to start with, we'll just basically show you how many stations you've logged and things like that. A couple things you'll want to make sure that you check out. Go to the blog. We'll be posting updates here for you. Right now we have one post. There'll be another one coming up here in about 3 more minutes. That has the interview that you just saw. That interview will be available on the blog post here on the website. But here's the welcome from Sean and I, from Sean, kind of talking through everything we just talked about. And then you'll also want to make sure that you go and look at the rules. All the rules are here and how it all kind of plays out. Along with the map of kind of the breakdown of all the divisions. And then we'll be adding to the FAQ as we get more frequently asked questions, right? So as you guys send more questions over to us, we'll be able to add more to this, so keep an eye on that. And if you do run into any issues, any problems, things like that, you can always go to the Contact Us link here, and you'll see our Grand Slam DX Challenge at gmail.com. That's where you'll want to send us an email to, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can with some feedback or whatever it is. So we just appreciate you guys working with us on this one. This is our first at bat with this new format. So this is kind of the format I've been wanting to do for the weekly challenges, but I'm just not knowledgeable enough on how to do it. So we're doing it here with the frequency challenge on this grand scale. Now through the end of the Major League Baseball regular season, the Grand Slam DX Challenge. Again, this is AM and FM. So you can choose to be AM only, you can choose to be FM only, or you can choose to do both. So if you're interested in doing both, AM and FM, you want to make sure you choose that category, which receiver type you're going to be using, either a portable, SDR, things like that. And then once you're in that category, that's it. You're in. That's your category for the rest of the challenge. So kind of think ahead to what you might be wanting to do for the whole summer, and that's really it. Just once you've registered and you've gotten your email confirmed and everything, you're in, then just start logging stations from this point out. Again, you want to be doing it during that baseball broadcast of that affiliate of that network, right? So again, if I'm listening to my local ESPN station, they're carrying Sunday Night Baseball, that doesn't count. If it's the Colorado Rockies flagship or an affiliate of the Angels or whatever, that counts, right? That's counts. Pre-game, during the game, post-game, all good. But if it's not part of the official baseball broadcast, that doesn't count, right? And we are working on the honor system, obviously, here, guys. So make sure that you keep that in mind. I know we are here at the top of the hour, and I haven't gotten my my AM antenna plugged back in here. But let's we can take a look at some FM stuff as well, and we'll circle back around to this Grand Slam DX Challenge here after the top of the hour as well, so we can continue to talk about that. Well, before we do, let's take a look and see what you guys are talking about in the there we go. Let's see what you guys are talking about in the chat. All right. So I know, again, we have one more top of the hour left this season, which we'll be doing here at the top of the hour. This next hour, we'll do that on the AM side. But right now, you can see here on the map, we've got a lot of lightning nearby as well. So just got to plug that sucker back in. Let's go back up here, though. I'm going to bring back up my SDR. And let's go back live with it. And we're going to start this up. Actually, let me take that bandwidth back down again. All right. So let me show you. So remember earlier I was talking about those HD signals. See how that HD signal is solid, right? Same thing here on this other side. That's that solid HD signal. That's what you're expecting to see from HD signals. But when you start seeing stuff coming off the side of it, that means you have another signal in there that's also coming in on that frequency. So let's see. Do we hear anything here on 93.1? Because it looks like we got some stuff coming off the side. No. The HD signal is still too strong. It's still kind of, dominating the frequency. But if we had a little bit of tropo coming in, maybe a little E-skip coming in, we would expect to see maybe something coming in there and taking over on that side of the frequency. So let's see. I'm also going to check in over here. Let's do a quick check on the AirSpy. So this is the AirSpy HF Plus Discovery that I'm running. I've got my centerfire vertical FM dipole plugged into it now, and it's not going to be as strong as the Yagi. Obviously, the Yagi's, it's a 9-element Yagi. It's got all kinds of gain, so the signal levels are going to be lower. I do have a amplifier, a 24 dB monster amplifier, FM amplifier, that I'm considering plugging into it, seeing if that might boost things up a bit without overloading. I don't know. We'll see. Play around with it, test it out. But this is going to be what I'll be running my auto logger, my RDS auto logger through. So I haven't set it up yet. Just made the decision. Originally what I was going to do was, I think I mentioned earlier, use the Elad and that full 24 megahertz of bandwidth to try to get all the RDS decodes at once, and then upload that to the website through the process. That's not how it works. So you actually are going to be scanning. So what I'm going to do, I have an extra computer here that I'm going to set up and plug in my AirSpy into, and just let that run by itself as an auto logger, and just let it run through the hardwired Ethernet cord into the splitter over here, my Ethernet switch, and just let that upload. Just that's all it's going to do, is just upload RDS decodes as it's scanning all day, every day. And then I can still use my other, I have two AirSpys, two HF Plus Discovery, so one will be doing that. One I can DX off of over here. I've also got the RSP DX. I saw a question earlier in the chat about RSP DX versus RSP Duo, which is better. There's not really a singular answer there, by the way. What you'll probably want to notice is what is your preferred, what are you going to be doing predominantly for your DX? If it's AM DX, I would probably go with the RSP DX, because the RSP DX has the HDR mode, the high dynamic range mode, which gives you enhanced reception quality on the low end of long wave and medium wave, to reject any interference or splatter or overloading that might come in from frequencies outside of that frequency range on the long wave or medium wave. So if you're going to be doing predominantly AM, probably the RSP DX. And it does do a good job with FM, by the way. I've got one over here. It does a great job with FM. If you're going to be doing predominantly FM, you may want to consider the Duo. You can still definitely do a great job, like I said, with the DX. But here's the Duo gives you two independent antenna inputs. And why that's important is that allows you to basically have, like, let's say I wanted to throw in my centerfire dipole and my 9-element Yagi as my two antenna inputs coming into the Duo. From there, I can then turn on the diversity functionality that's in Duo, and I can actually do digital phasing where I can use that to try to get rid of interference or pest stations to see what's underneath. So it's really, if you're going to buy the Duo, you want to do it predominantly if you're doing predominantly VHF or HF, especially VHF. If you're doing predominantly lower end stuff, the RSP DX is going to be a better performer. But if you are going to want to run 2 antenna inputs and do that diversity functionality for phasing, that's where you would see the benefit of the Duo. If you're not running 2 antenna inputs and you don't want to do the diversity stuff, you just have 1 antenna, there's really not a point in getting the Duo. You're not getting the performance that you would get from the RSP DX on the low end, and you're also not taking advantage of the main reason to get the Duo, which is the 2 independent antenna connections, the 2 independent built-in receivers. So hopefully that helps. So it's really down to what you are going to want to do. I'm considering a Duo just so I can run 2 independent FM antennas and do diversity through those to see what I get, see if there's anything that might come in. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Especially during like openings where there might be more than one station making it in. I may want to try that out and see if it works. But predominantly, majority of us would be using that RSP DX, I feel like, because we're going to be doing a little bit of AM, a little bit of FM, and maybe we have an antenna, one antenna for each, an AM antenna or an FM antenna, or maybe you have like a W6 LVP loop that you would be using for both. RSP DX, right? That's my recommendation. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to do some more live DX. Of course, we got shout-outs still to get to, season-ending shout-outs. You guys have been putting those in on the Google form to send us over your season-ending shout-outs, so we'll be getting to those here in a bit, and a whole lot more, so don't go anywhere, rather. We got a whole lot more DX Central Live coming up right after this, and, of course, this last hour was brought to you by the National Radio Club, nationalradioclub.org, if you want to become a member of the National Radio Club. This hour we're in now, is brought to you by the International Radio Club of America, IRCA. That's ircaonline.org. And then I also do want to make sure that we mention as well before we go to break, if you are an FMDXer, to make sure that you're also joining the WTFDA, the Worldwide TV FMDX Association. It's WTFDA.org. That's where you want to go. Here's their website here, WTFDA.org. Is where you go to become a member of the Worldwide TV FMDX Association. So make sure that you do that as well. And like I said, we'll be right back with more live DX and more on DX Central Live right after this.
DX Central, because we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central. DX Central Live is brought to you in part by...
From the pages of its DX Monitor member bulletin, members of the International Radio Club of America share their domestic and international AMDX loggings. In its Mexican log, a wealth of information can be found of stations from south of the border. Technical guides, sunrise, sunset maps, and more make the IRCA a must-join for any AMDXer. For more information, log on to ircaonline.org. That's ircaonline.org. While the HF bands can be filled with entertaining and intriguing transmissions, how do you know when and where to look? Let Teague Publishing's Global Radio Guide lead the way. In addition to its exhaustive list of time and frequency for international broadcasters, radio hobby icon Gail Van Horn brings you equipment reviews, an SDR buyer's guide, feature articles, and more. Pick up your copy today. Visit teaguepublishing.com for more information. That's teaguepublishing.com. Since 1933, the National Radio Club has been serving AMDXers while providing some of the most in-depth information in the hobby. From the annual NRC AM log, a must-have reference for domestic station information, to antenna design reference manuals, and of course, the DX News member bulletin, which is filled with station information updates, domestic and international loggings, and a whole lot more. Become a member today. For more information, log on to nationalradioclub.org. That's nationalradioclub.org.
Through crashes of static in quiet hours, we listen. in languages we can scarcely understand, and of places we have only visited in our dreams, we listen. Incessantly, we perfect our array of aerials, receivers, and resources. We refine our skills and our techniques so that we might listen. We are DX Central, and we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central.
Keep up with DX Central. Follow us on Twitter at DX Central.
From the DX Central North Shore Studios, this is DXC Live. Now here's your host, Lloyd Van Horn.
It's DX Central Live from the North Shore Studios here in Mandeville, Louisiana. I appreciate you all being here for our season finale, last episode of the season of Season 3. Can't believe Season 3 is gone. I said it before, I remember sitting in this chair, sitting here looking at this monitor that's right in front of me right now, and mapping out what I wanted to do this season, doing all the design work on what you see on screen and all that kind of stuff. So it's crazy to me that now we're sitting here and it's the end of the season, and now I'll be getting ready for Season 4. Whew. Crazy. All right, you guys ready to do some shout outs, little pats on the back for each other? Let's do that. Let me cue up the horn of victory here. All right, so here's how it's going to work. Normally, on our shout-outs, what we usually do is we say, what did you get in the last week? What did you get in the last week that you did not get, or that you didn't have before, right? So if you had a new log, new station, new whatever it might be, new state, new country, those are the things that you would be able to log, and we'd give you a shout out for. We have a little special thing that we do for those. So we're basically doing the same premise, but instead of from last week, now it is from all of the season. So we want to just really, since we're not going to see each other again until September officially, there we go. Just put the form in here. So if you want to get one of these shout outs in, you still have time to do so. Since we're not going to see each other again until after the summer is over, I wanted to make sure that we at least have a chance to give you guys a chance to do a little bit of shout out and celebrate the things you did this season. So even though the AMDX season is still going, AMDX isn't over, we're still going to sit here and celebrate what we accomplished together. So I just put the link in there in the chat. So if you have not yet submitted your season-ending shout-outs of what you've accomplished this season, then you still have time to do so. We're not gonna. I want to get everybody in here that we possibly can, and I'm just gonna go in order by which they come in. So this is in no particular order other than it's alphabetical from the people who have submitted it based on the alphabetical order of your names. All right. So if you did new states, new countries, new logs, same rules apply. We're going to fire off the usual things that we fire off to celebrate those, along with blowing the horn of victory. All right. Up first, Barry Bankston, our Season 2 Medium Wave Frequency Champion. Medium Wave Frequency Challenge Champion. There we go. 843 stations submitted in the challenge this year. Goodness. What did Barry do this year? Barry got 3 new countries, so we're going to stamp some passports for you here, Barry. Haiti, Venezuela, and Costa Rica. Haiti was the #1 goal he had for the season, was to add Haiti to the list, and he nailed that. So let's start off with that. Let's start off with the passport stamp for 3 new countries for Barry. Let me, I'm going to close some stuff out here so we can make sure we're not overclocking the computer here. I don't want to repeat of last week where the video freezes and all that. All right. In addition to the 3 new countries for Barry, 2 new Canadian provinces as well, Alberta and Saskatchewan, and 132 logs during the Graveyard Challenge. So when we did the Graveyard edition of our Frequency Challenge, 132 loggings that week. So let's start there. The new logs. All right. So we'll start there. We got the new logs. Now, everybody's favorite. Put your hand on your heart. Stand at attention as we do this one for the boys. Moose, where you at? The moose is loose. The moose and the goose. We got them both. The moose and the loose goose. There you go, Barry. Thank you, my friend. What a great season you've had, man. It's unbelievable what you've been able to accomplish this year. So we definitely enjoy getting to celebrate that one with you. Congrats, and looking forward to seeing what you do in FM season and next year AM as well. So there's our first shout out. Again, if you want to get your shout out in, your season ending shout out, there's still time to do so. You have the link up here in the Google chat rather. Just follow that to the Google form and we'll get you in there. Next up on the list on the alphabetical order, we've got Bart Nave, Gray, Tennessee. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention, if you guys didn't catch it before, also from Tennessee, Crossville, Tennessee was Barry. From Gray, Tennessee, Bart Nave. Bart logging some great stuff this year. And by the way, I called you the author, Bart, if you're watching, because I always love it when you post on social media the little stories you always have to go with your new loggings, like, you know, little extra commentary that you put with the logging. I always like that. I always find it interesting. Always find it a fun way of kind of framing those new catches rather than just saying, I heard this new station. So that's why you're the author. 9 new captures on Frequency Challenge frequencies for Bart. Looks like these are mostly from the last week. So we got Mobile in there to be ABF. We got WHTY in Phoenix City, Columbus. WJFC out of Jefferson City, Tennessee. WRKB in Kannapolis, WSDS in Salem Township, Michigan. Very nice. Berry Hill, Tennessee, WVOL. Greensboro, WWBG. WTOY out of Salem, WYRN, Lewisburg. This is all in the last week, guys. Also, a new state for Bart this year. KAAY 1090 Little Rock was able to be added, so we're going to get you the state. So Bart added a new state this year with Arkansas, and also mentioned during this week's Frequency Challenge captured his 700th station from his location there in Gray. I know the camera is going nuts here, so what we're going to do is we're going to say, hold on. Oh, we're not going to do that. Nope, we're going to keep it on camera 1. So mention here from Bart, this was his 700th log during the Frequency Challenge this week. So congratulations, Bart! Very nice. Very, very nice. Oh, man. Got some more submissions in here. Nice! You guys keep them coming. We're going to get to them all tonight. If we don't DX at all, that's fine. That's fine. I want to spend more time celebrating what we have already caught than trying to chase new ones tonight. So that brings us to Carl DeWitt from Kingsport, Tennessee. Carl got some new logs this week. Alcoa, Tennessee, WBCR, WNAX, out of Russellville, Alabama. WWNN out of Pompano Beach. Marietta, Georgia, WFOM. WIOE out of Fort Wayne. That's, 5 new ones? So we get to the log. For the season, 221 new stations for Carl. And so that gets you another log saw. And 4 new states to be DEL in Delaware, to be KGGF in Kansas, KOA Colorado, and KSEN Montana. All new states for the season. There you go, buddy. Fireworks! And 2 new countries. So we're going to also stamp a passport here. 2 new countries. Bahamas 810. Colombia. Radio Nacional de Colombia on 570. So passport stamp time. Let's see if we can find ourselves a nice open page here. Yeah, that one's pretty full. There's a nice blank one. Let's get in here. Yeah! You guys make this fun. Let's see, where was I? 500 now. I see in the chat 562 stations now logged in Kingsport, Tennessee. All the I'm telling you, you guys are all Tennessee, just crushing it. 562 stations logged in Kingsport since 11/21 of 2021. Reached the goal of 550 stations logged by the end of this season of DX Central Live Season 3. Also got a new receiver, bought a C Crane EP Pro, a new antenna, a W6 LVP loop with the transmit receive switch. Got one of those sitting right over here. Love it. Also purchasing soon a TEF 6686. Got one of those sitting right here. Love it. So we're going to get you some nice shout-outs for those. There we go. And we're not done. We're not just AM here. We're FM too. So got 4 states logged on new FM log. Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina, and Virginia. It's got DXpeditions in the works to nearby Bays Mountain, mostly for FM, but some AM DX in there as well. And to nearby Warriors Pass State Park. My friend, for those new states on FM, we give you the fireworks. Carl says, have a great summer and good DX. My friend, right back at you. Enjoy those DXpeditions. I love portable DX. I love taking my gear out in the field and sometimes literally DXing. Love it. So much fun. David Pete in Old Town, Maine. Let me tell you something. We had this nice little grouping in the East Coast and the Midwest and a little bit of West Coast, but we had this big gaping hole of logs in the Northeast, and David shows up and absolutely just crushes it. All those like New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, all that stuff you saw up there, that's David. Vermont, Maine, New Hampshire, that's David. David's been crushing it. So man, thank you for being part of the fun this year. So let's see what David did. 243 new stations. We wouldn't have gotten 50 states without you, man, because nobody else got Vermont until you showed up. So you are the key to us getting all 50 states. So thank you. 7 new states. Cue the fireworks. Five new countries, including his furthest mileage, which was also RC in Colombia at 2,412 miles. So we're going to stamp a passport here for you, buddy. We're going to find that blank page, and we're going to cue it up, and bam! There we go. Yeah! Said everything changed when I replaced my random wire with a 450 foot southwest facing bog. Says since I found DX Central, this is the most fun at the radio I've had in a long time. Oh man, thank you. Yeah, which it's amazing. We all talk about, oh, what radio should I buy? It's all in the antenna, guys. It's all in the antenna. If you can get that antenna outdoors, and the more directionality you can give yourself, the more isolated it can be from noise, the better you're going to be. The radio is important, but the antenna even more so. So there you go, my friend. Congratulations, David. We'll give you another shout for that, getting that Southwest bog installed and upping your totals there, my friend. Good job. Jeff the Lock, you ready for yours, buddy? I logged 774 stations between September 1st and May 2nd. Damn. All from his location there in Fishers. So, man, let me tell you what. 774. I know we got some states and some countries in there, but that's what he gave us here on the shout out form. So, buddy, man, thank you. You really helped make, you and Barry and all the rest of you as well, but you guys really helped make this season so much fun, seeing all the great stuff you were getting. So thank you for being part of the fun, my friend. We got John. And John, I'm going to butcher your last name. I'm horrible with pronunciations. John Saragan? Coastal. We'll just call you Coastal, because you're right there on the coast, right? You get it? You're right there off of, like, the East Coast. I already had West Coast. I was going to call you East Coast, and I was like, nah, Coastal, because you're just kind of coasting in here with some awesome logs, including from September 1st through May 4th, 90 new stations added to the log. Now at 1,207 stations going back to 1976. So we're going to pause there. And we are graced with the presence of Kaz himself, Neil Kazaros, in the house tonight. Mr. Kaz, thank you for being here. Appreciate you being part of the fun and the part of the party. And I got 3 Kazes out here in the yard that'll tell you how great that antenna is. John goes on. Highlights were Saskatchewan, a new province with 750 CKJH. Montfort, Saskatchewan, with their DX test. I guess it was during that 750 outage on WSB's outage on 9/24/21. So the moose is loose. Got a new Mexican log as well. 3 new Colombians, a new Nicaragua, new country, the 28th medium wave country, and a new Bahamas log. So we got a lot in there to get to. We got a new Mexican log. I don't know if that was a new Mexican state for you or not. Did you say it was? Didn't have that one checked. So we got new Canadian province, new country, new logs. I know you didn't say it was a new Mexican state, but guess what? Confirms that it was a new Mexican state, so appropriately on Cinco de Mayo, considering it's not really a true Mexican holiday. We salute you for your Mexican state, and with the new Nicaragua and the new Colombian logs, the 28th medium wave country for the new Bahamian, we go back and we stamp your passport as well, my friend. Good job, John. La 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 la. Yeah, the neighbors. I think I told you guys the story. One of my neighbor kids was talking to one of the other neighbor adults, and said, "What's he got all that stuff in his front yard? All those wires? What's all that?" And then he goes, that's Mr. Lloyd's minefield. I've also told people that it was an elaborate clothesline. I've also done that as well. Good job, John, my friend. Congratulations. Thank you for being part of the fun this year. We move on to another John Johnson, Mesa, Arizona. 29 new stations logged. New loggings include KEII, KBST, XECJC, KGBA, XEGL, XEW, KEXB, KDBM, KMYC, KFBU, KMMMMMM, CKOM, XEFCR, KWMC, KMNS, KCNZ, WCGO, KMIC, KASL, KNTS, KCLW, KJSK, KBRL, KREH, KMVL, KONA, XEEB, KYYA, now up to 832 stations logged after just about 9 years in location. So we're going to pause there and give you the Horn of Victory and a log saw for all that. And he mentions PJB in Bonaire, Netherlands Antilles, a new country for him. So we're going to also stamp your passport, bud. Good job, David. Or John, sorry. Good job, John. Awesome. I was looking at David and tried to say John, and it came out to John. To David. Speaking of Mexico, we go to Mexico. Mike Jeziorski, my friend down in Mexico. My go-to source when I'm like, I don't know what this person's saying in Spanish. Can you help me out? 52 new loggings for Mike this year. So we'll start there. 4 new states: Indiana, Wisconsin, Nevada, and frickin' Washington. Man, I remember that one. That was a great week, man. Washington from Mexico. So we're going to pause there. All right. I'm going to come back to this next one you had on the list. Number 500 logged from Mexico. So he's up to 500 stations AM logged from Mexico. Lifetime graveyard distance record, which was at 1,219 miles. WTAN 1340. Goodness. Uh-huh. A new RSP DX. We got you there. And 4 new Louisiana stations, my friend. Let's le bon ton roulé. Stirring that gumbo now. Break out the hot sauce, friends. We got ourselves some jambalaya. Awesome job, Mike. Congratulations, my friend. Thank you for all that you have brought to the table as a amazing DXer. You get great results down there, and you've been a great service to the DX community by helping all of us non-bilingual folks out with our rudimentary Spanish. So thank you. Another Mike. This one, Mesa Mike, Fluvanna County, Virginia. In case some of you don't know, Mesa Mike has a fantastic website where you can see station information on stations from every frequency. And so it's a great resource. You can download that database. That's what I used. to do some of our statistics on, how many stations we had heard per state or how many overall we'd heard out of the U.S. stations, right? That was Mesa Mike's data we were using. So make sure you check his website out if you have not yet done so already. It's just mesamike.org/radio/seat. You know what? I'm just going to do this. In the chat. There you go. That's Mesa Mike's website right there. So what did Mesa Mike have this year? 178 new logs. So we're going to pause. Look at this, guys. 25. Not... Maybe, do you mean 5 here? Because I see 25, but then you listed out. I got Connecticut, Wisconsin, Colorado, Delaware, and Nebraska for new states for you. So I'm assuming you meant 5 there. So even still, 5 new states for Mesa Mike. So let's roll that beautiful firework footage. And 2 New Mexico states. Quintana Roo among those. I can't remember what the TAM. I forget which one that was. Mike's plural. You guys can help me out with that. I forget which one it was, the TAM abbreviation. But got 2 New Mexican states. So, Sigurabo! Whoa, nope, wrong one. There we go. There we go. And one last little nugget we'll add here. Started DXing this location a year ago, passed 400 logs sometime during the season. Now I have 464 logs, and he installed a proper CAS antenna during the season. So you know what that means. Next season's going to be even bigger. Yes, it is. Okay, so good job, Mesa Mike. We appreciate you, man. Your website and just being part of the fun. We appreciate you being here. Pat Durkin, Woodbury, Minnesota. Pat, if you're in the chat, we got you in here as well. So, broke 1,100 all-time AM logs from his Woodbury location, now at 1,103. 105 new logs this season. Notable new ones are KERN 1100 out of Wesco, California. KSMH 1620 West Sacramento, California. CHED 630 Edmonton, Alberta. And CKGO 730 Vancouver. All this from Minnesota again. So some notable logs there. So let's go ahead and say yeah. And Pat also mentions KWDF 840 Ball, Louisiana, WWWL 1350 New Orleans, and WYLD 940 New Orleans. So, laissez les bâtons rouler! Oh, we just getting started, folks. Pat says he didn't do much in the DX challenges of the season, but hopes to next season, and we hope you do too, man. Hope you join us in our one of those. There were, I think, 3 or 4 people who were there and did 26 out of 26 weeks. All the logs. Barry was one. John Johnson was one. I'm trying to think who else. David Flotman was one, and there was somebody else. It's up on the website, on the which, by the way, on our website, dxcentralonline.com, we have a blog post that has the link to the results page, so you can go check it out. But yeah, they're all up there. So I've got the whole grid of every single week, every single DXer that submitted logs, how many were there, and the ones that were the top score are highlighted and things like that. So go check it out. It took a long time to make it, so I hope you guys appreciate it. All right. We got our buddy Sean in here. This was his first season of AM DXing again. He did AM DXing or AM radio hobbyism at a younger age, but this was his first real big season of AM DXing after many years in the ham radio world. And in that first season, it ended with 292 unique stations, 35 states, so you know it was all new, 4 Canadian provinces, 4 Mexican states, and 7 countries. So we're going to pause there because we got all this stuff. So let's start with the logs. And we have the new states. Yeah, we have firework time. And we got the countries, so we're stamping some passport here. These countries, by the way, Canada, Mexico, Cuba, Bahamas, Colombia, and England. Carrier only, but England was in there. And we're stamping a passport. Yeah. So there's that one, and let's see, what else did he do? Oh, 4 Canadian provinces. So, la musique! Sir. And 4 Mexican states. And Sean also mentions here that he upgraded his PC to handle his SDR more efficiently. Hope he can make a dedicated antenna aimed west. Also bought his first SDR and a dedicated receive loop antenna, and am now dipping the toe into FMDX for the first time as well. Just bought his first FM antenna. And biggest thrill of the year was finally hearing California after decades of trying. KNX was in there, so yeah. My friend, I know that thrill. I love that thrill. When even I had logged California before, in the previous location, but when I heard him here for the first time in Mandeville, actually every time I've heard him, even now, if I go back in and I hear KFI or KNX, even though I already have him in the logbook, it's still like, oh yeah, there's California. That's that living on the East Coast thing for so long. It's just such a rarity after being out there. Stephanie, I know Stephanie's at the ball game, so she's not in the chat, but got some cool accomplishments here for Stephanie, so we need to give that big pat on the back here, the shout out. So WCGA Woodbine, Georgia DX test heard at 2,018 miles from Woodbine, Georgia to Southern California. That's the longest distance that Stephanie got all season. That's also Georgia #1 from the SoCal desert. Brings total states heard from the Radio Hacienda to 29. All states west of the Mississippi except for South Dakota. I'm with you on that one, on my list. So we start there. And we got the new state for Georgia, so firework time. And also, Canadian provinces, 5, Mexican states 13. So you got to get your fill into the moose now. It's not going to be here for 4 months. We also got the 13 Mexican states. What? There you go, Stephanie. You got the shout-outs. Congratulations. Tom Laskowski, you're up. Tom Big Laskowski, like the Big Lebowski, right? Added 116 all-time new ones during the 2022-23 DX season. 1 new Mexican state. Also reached the milestone of adding 225. Let me get this right. 2,500th log to the logbook from the current location there in South Bend, Indiana. I'm going to repeat that again. Reached the milestone of adding the 2,000, I don't even know how to say this, 2,500th log from South Bend, Indiana. Tom Laskowski. Currently sitting at 2,533 total medium wave logs. Did not get state number 48, Oregon. Hoping next season will be the one. Alaska and Hawaii, not unless there's a Mega DX test. Hey, we can all dream. We can all hope, right? So, let me start with the all-time new ones. 116 all-time new ones. We got the new Mexican state. And I was gonna make this little video thingy for like 1,000 logs, 1,100, 1,200, but I was like, then I have to have like all these different versions of the videos. I don't even know what to do for 2,500 freaking logs, other than to say, damn. I mean, if there's anything left to log, Tom, I hope that you get it this next season. Definitely Alaska, Hawaii, and Oregon would be nice to add, right? I hope you get them, man. I hope you get them, because I know 116 new ones. That gives me hope, because you always hear people say, well, once you get past like 1,500, somewhere in there, man, it gets real hard to hear a new one, and I'm sure it does. But 116 new when you're already sitting on 2,500, damn, my man. So good job, Tom. Appreciate you. So yeah, you earned the nickname Big with that one. 2,500 stations this year. Troy Porter in Ohio, you are up, my friend. 237 new logs this year, now at 440 logs total. So we'll start you there. Three new states to put Troy at 38 total. So, anybody got a lighter? Anybody got a lighter? So that was 2,500 stations for Tom, by the way, was since 1981, 42 years of DXing, but still 2,500, damn. 2 new countries logged for Troy, now up to 7 total countries. So we got the stamp out, got some ink ready. There you go. And it says, goals achieved for the year here, California. Done. Logbook now in Excel. Nice. There you go. Goals for next year: build an antenna for directional null like a Superloop flag CAS using a W6 LVP amplifier, dedicated computer to leave on for recording purposes. See? That's what I'm talking about. We'll get to the I wanted to do goal setting as part of our last episode here, but we're not going to have enough time. But definitely go watch our video that we have about it here on our YouTube channel, because I know we're getting close to top of the hour here, and I do want to try to squeeze in one last top of the hour alert for the season. Alan N, DFW, 78 new stations logged for the season, bringing the total since 2001 to 536. Alan N, there you go, my friend. Earl, my man, welcome. Good job, Alan. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you being there. 78 new ones logged for the season. It's pretty damn good. Art, I know Art was in there earlier. I'm not sure if he's still there, my friend, but from near Fort Worth, also Texas. Copied a fairly good slow scan TV image with a $25 RTL SDR and a 3-foot loop during the KDWN Las Vegas DX test. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, man. That's awesome. Earl says he's got 13 left to go to get to 1,200 from St. Louis. So we're going to give you that nice. There you go, Earl. Good job, Art, on the KDWN slow scan reception. Again, $25 SDR, 3-foot loop. Sometimes all you need is just metal in the air. That's all you need. Bill Curry from Michigan, our esteemed chat moderator, our Season 1 Medium Wave Frequency Challenge champion. 262 new logs this season, including log number 1,000. Total 561 logs for the season. So, my friend, I was going to answer that question, wasn't I? Who was it that got Hawaii and Alaska for the Season 2 of the challenge? I was going to answer that question, and I need to go find it for you guys. So that's all of our season-ending shout-outs we have right now. You still got time if you want to submit yours. You can still put yours in. That's the wrong one. Google Sheets, Lloyd. Sheets. Google Sheets. You still got time if you have a season-ending shout-out you want to get in for yourself, then by all means, make sure you get that in on the Google form that we put up in the chat a little bit ago. And we'll get you in here after the top of the hour. We are getting up close to a top of the hour alert. So we're going to fire up for one last time this season the old Jaguar here and get ready for that. While that's loading up, we did some FM earlier. We talked about some FMDX. But now we're pulling up the Jaguar. Where do you want me to go, guys? What frequency you want? You have carte blanche. Pick your frequency. Whoever gets the most votes, that's our frequency we're going to go to. While I look up here on the logging data to see who logged Alaska and Hawaii in the frequency challenge this year. So give me in the chat. Let me know what frequency you want us to go to for our final top of the hour alert of the season, and that's where we shall go. So we have 2 logs here from Alaska, both from Steve McDonald up in Main Island, British Columbia, VE7SL, our good friend Steve. And Hawaii was Bruce Portzer. Got KUAI 570. Country Music ID, Kauai Country, KUAI FM 104.5 and AM 570. Bruce Portzer up there in the Seattle area got us Hawaii. So with Bruce and Steve and David's help, we got those last 3 states that we needed to sneak in there and get all 50 for the season. Awesome sauce, man. Awesome sauce. Let's go ahead and let's get this Jaguar queued up here. And You guys ready? Where are we going? Did I close the chat window? I think I closed the chat window. Let me reopen that again. Where are we going, guys? What's our frequency we're going to travel to for the last top of the hour alert of the season? Get those votes in here. And let me know what you think. Gotta pull over here because I accidentally closed my chat window, so now I gotta go back into the YouTube chat and pull it up and see what you guys have been saying. Because I'm sure you've been voting over here. I just can't see it just yet.
Your mama's going down.
Let's see, you gotta vote for 1230. We gotta vote for 1580, 1450. We gotta vote for 1180. Wow, we got a couple all over the place. So we need a tiebreaker here. Up 1230. That's our tiebreaker. So we're gonna go to 1230, which is a local here, by the way. We've got WBOK. Let's do another frequency since we got a local here. Let me see how loud they are. Yeah, that's our local here. What else you got? What else you got for that last frequency of the year? 1230, 1180. I saw 1450 in there. Yeah, 1180 is going to be Rebellion City. 1450? You guys want to finish on a graveyarder? We got a 1620 vote. That's going to be Rebellion. Mike's also voting 1450. There's our tiebreaker. So that's an open frequency for me. It's a nice graveyarder. Let's do this. Last top of the hour alert of season 3, my friends. Let's do this. $14.50 it is. Here we are. Let's see. We're pointing west. Let's see what we can find. And let us know what you're hearing from where you are as well. We're throwing it back old school here. Our first DX Central Live we did season 1. Our first handful before we started doing the challenge. We solicited from you guys where we were going to DX, so now we're doing that again. And I always used to say, turn your radio on, DX alongside with us. Let us know what you're hearing, so let's do it. Who was that we just got here? That does not sound familiar. It's a K station. I'm not seeing anything that matches here on my list. Let's throw it in the lower sideband and see if they're any better. I got the Cumulus station. I'm looking. If we end the season with a new log, I'm gonna lose it. That's gonna be awesome. Sports. We go back. I think I have better upper sideband. Let's try that again. I mean, it sounds like they're saying Little Rock. Take care, Bart. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for being there. It's not Little Rock. There's KENA in Mena. There's KNHD in Camden. It's neither of those. Let's try this again. That's what I'm hearing too, Earl. Is KBEZ or something like that. I did see, where was it? There was a V call sign in here somewhere. There's a KVBV in Buena Vista, Colorado. That's like 250 watts. KVBV, which would kind of sound close to what they're saying. Port Arthur is possible, but they're KIKR. And I think, if I remember right, if that's the when the simulcast their FM is a country station, Kicker Country, because I heard them the other day during a Tropo opening. Nope, they're Sports Radio. Oh, that's probably who that is. Good call, Rick. Yeah, because I heard him mention 1510. Let's go back into it here again. Sports Radio Beaumont. So if I go over to 1510 now, KBED, Nederland, Texas. That's their sister station. Mystery solved. It wasn't a new one, but hey, I'll take a relog. Yep, that's them. All right, so there we go. We got ourselves a relog there on KIKR out of Beaumont, but you know, hey, we're looking west. And that's what you get sometimes. You get, every once in a while, you'll be sitting there and you'll look on that graveyard frequency and it's the same thing, it's the same thing, it's the same thing. And then all of a sudden you get to that one night where you're on there and it's something wholly different. And it's a whole other ball game. All right, so there you go. That's our last top of the hour alert for the year. For this season, at least. Before we adjourn, I'll do my last little shout outs that I have here. Take care, Art73, my friend. My numbers from the DX season. So this is not this is from the logbook, not the frequency challenge. This is from the logbook itself. 166 logs. 28 states logged. Some of those were new, some of them were not. 3 Canadian provinces, including Saskatchewan, new, and 8 countries. I think most of those were not new countries. I don't remember getting a new country this year yet. Did I? Oh, Honduras. Yes, I did. I got Honduras for the first time. So we're gonna do a little bit. David over here logging Vermont. Like it's like nothing. I got Vermont coming out of my ears over here, he says. 28 states. We did get a new one. Nevada was a new one. So we're going to add that in here. Yeah. And we got 8 countries, including the new Honduras. So we'll go ahead and we'll stamp ourselves a little passport action here. Yeah. And we did get 3 Canadian provinces, including Ontario, Alberta, and a new one from Saskatchewan on 750. So, for the last time in Season 3, we're going to set loose the moose. You guys make this so much fun, man. Y'all make this so much fun. Don't forget GrandSlamDXChallenge.com. That's where you want to go register for the baseball challenge we got running now through the end of the baseball regular season. We'll be back with Season 4 of DX Central Live in September. So be sure to subscribe to our channel. Here, let me throw my usual stuff up here on the screen. So let me subscribe to the YouTube channel so you'll make sure to hit the bell icon. So be notified when we post new videos. I'll be posting some new content this summer on the channel itself. And also so you'll be notified when we get those live streams back up and running again. Also, make sure you check us out and bookmark. You can also subscribe on our website, dxcentralonline.com. And whenever we put up a new blog post, you'll get a notification if you subscribe. And that would include when we make our announcement for Season 4 and the start of the Medium Wave Frequency Challenge. So when that time comes around, we'll announce it on our blog post. We'll also be doing it over on Twitter. Twitter.com/DXCentral. That's where you can find all of our announcements that we make regarding our efforts here at DX Central. And I'll be posting updates on the Grand Slam Challenge, any tweaks that we do to it. What I'm hearing, whenever we have an FM opening, Tropo, E-Skip, all that stuff, we'll be doing it there. So, also, if you want to go back in and rewatch any of our episodes of DX Central Live, if there was something that you missed or whatever, I will be putting up every single episode individually up on DXCentralLive.com, probably this weekend. When it's raining tomorrow, I think. So, so I'll be putting up DXCentralLive.com with those on there. We'll be taking down the schedule piece that's on there off because we're done for the season. So I'll be putting up the archive. Also, we'll be putting up their archive of the DX test from this season as well. And I'll be posting information on that site as well when we get ready to go live with Season 4. So that'll also be another one that you want to make sure that you bookmark. So you got DXCentralOnline.com, you got DXCentralLive.com, you got GrandSlamDXChallenge.com. And we're not done. We got more coming for next season. So be sure that you stay tuned. Keep your yourself on the lookout for all the details. Man, I really appreciate all that you guys have brought this season. It has been so much fun. Every year, I know it's cliche. Every year it's bigger and better. But it really, this year, we took it. Season 1, I was kind of figuring it out. Season 2, we took it to this whole new level. We were having a good time, and you guys were joining in the chat. We're having nice back and forth. We started the challenge stuff. This year, whew, it just took off. So I can't wait to see what we have in store for us for Season 4. So from all of us here at DX Central, my friends, enjoy your summer of DX, FM, AM, and otherwise. Have fun with the baseball challenge. We'll see you right back here in the fall in September with DX Central Live Season 4. Take care. Best of DX and 73, my friends. We'll see you then.
This is DX Central Live.